Just imagine, Alice said. What if I'm only a part of someone else's dream? And if they wake up, where will I be? You'll vanish, like morning mist, and you won't even realize that you once existed, a voice echoed from the thicket. And that's where the abyss begins, with this simple childlike line. Because hidden inside it lies one of the most mysterious paradoxes of quantum physics, the observer effect. Who is dreaming? Who is observing? Where is the boundary between dream and reality? And who decides which one is real? Alice isn't merely chasing a white rabbit through a tunnel. She's falling through a layer of familiar perception, like a particle slipping into a quantum field, no longer bound by the laws of classical mechanics. As she falls, space loses direction. Time stops existing as a line. She doesn't know how long she's been falling. A second? An hour? An eternity? And that's no coincidence. In the quantum realm, time isn't a fixed constant. It depends on the observer. And on belief. What if you are just an observer in your own dream? What if you are a form of consciousness, experiencing the very story you yourself have written? The rabbit hole isn't a tunnel. It's a point of reset, a place where all known laws collapse, where logic is powerless and intuition becomes your compass. Now ask yourself, when you look at the world, do you see it? Or do you create it? Because in Alice, behind every bizarre character hides a quantum metaphor. The Mad Hatter, stuck in an endless tea party, a symbol of the time loop. The Cheshire Cat, fading away, but leaving his grin. Superposition, existing and not existing at the same time. The Red Queen, demanding you run as fast as you can just to stay in place, a reflection of the uncertainty principle. The harder you try to grasp the essence, the faster it slips away. Alice isn't a little girl. Alice is you. The Hatter, your perception of time. The Cat, your ability to be and not be. The Queen, your endless chase for something with no start or finish. And now here you are, at the entrance. And if you're ready, jump. But remember, once you pass through the mirror, you won't come back the same. Because you'll understand. You are the one who's asleep. You are the one who sees. You are Wonderland itself. Where do you want to go? Asked the Cheshire Cat, curled in the crook of a branch like a thought flickering at the edge of consciousness. I don't know, Alice admitted. Then it doesn't matter which way you go. This isn't just a line from a children's tale. It's a mirror pointed straight at the core of our reality. Because in the quantum world, direction is an illusion. Everything exists simultaneously. All probabilities, all paths, all versions of you. But a choice only emerges when there is intention. Until then, you drift, a random particle in a sea of uncertainty. Alice, unsure where to go, represents most people in the real world. They move by inertia, led by habits, fears, opinions not their own. But in the quantum field, uncertainty is not chaos, it's infinite potential. And it only collapses into reality when an observer appears, when you choose. The Cheshire Cat is that part of your consciousness that knows more than you're ready to hear. He doesn't show you the way. He reminds you, you must set the vector. You are the center of your universe, but only when you remember it. Until you know what you want, you won't pass through any mirror, because you're not even looking for the door. And so Alice, who seems to be wandering, is actually making contact with the field, the one that awaits your decision. Your inner yes to the journey. But you can't choose a path if you don't know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, you don't know what to choose. And if you don't know what to choose, then it truly doesn't matter where you go. That's how quantum reality works. Not the external defines the internal, but the other way around. The world responds to your frequency, to your intention, to the point where you focus your attention. While you hesitate, the universe pauses. It waits, because all paths are reflections of you. Why does time move so strangely here? Asked Alice, looking at the Hatter. Because you think it moves, he replied, twirling a teacup in his hand. But it just is. Welcome to a world where clocks don't tick, and reality bends to intention. In Wonderland, just like in quantum physics, time isn't a straight line. It's a loop, a knot, or even an endless possibility. Here, nothing obeys Newtonian laws, only the laws of observation. You're not in the past or the future, you are the point of now. But what you believe about the past can change who you become, and how you see the future is already shaping your present. When the Hatter says that time moves however it pleases, he is literally describing the structure of the quantum field. Everything is possible at once until you observe it. That moment of attention collapses the infinite into one chosen outcome. The question is not how much time you have. The real question is how consciously you live the moment you're in. The Hatter is the archetype of chaos, of quantum unpredictability. He may seem mad, but he is free, because he stepped outside the linear logic. He isn't bound by the rules of how things should be, and that's why he can see through the veil. In our world, we chase time, not realizing that its power is an illusion. On a deeper level, time submits to consciousness. When you are fully present, time stands still. When you are anxious, it slips through your fingers. You are the creator of rhythm. And that's why, in Wonderland, you can never be late, because everything happens exactly when you're ready for it. So maybe it's time to stop fearing being late and start asking, why am I rushing there at all? At first glance, it's a simple question, but in a world where everything changes with each thought, there may be no answer, or infinite answers. Alice stood before the caterpillar, confused. I'm not quite sure, she stammered. I knew who I was when I woke up this morning, but I think I've changed several times since then. The caterpillar took a slow drag from his hookah and smirked. Then who are you now? This isn't just philosophy. This is pure quantum identity. You are not a fixed being. You are a field of possibilities. Every moment is a chance to choose who to be, and every choice reshapes your reality. In quantum mechanics, a particle has no defined form until it is observed. It exists as a wave of probabilities, and so do you. Until you decide who you are, you can be anything. But the moment you define yourself, say, I am this, you collapse the infinite into a single reality. Yours. That's why the question, who are you, isn't something to answer once and be done with. It's a question you must return to every day, because you are always in the process of becoming. The caterpillar is the archetype of awakened consciousness. It knows that transformation is not a mistake, it's a necessity. It will become a butterfly. It understands that being yourself means dying and being reborn again and again. Alice, in this moment, represents each of us, lost between social masks, fears, and expectations. But for the first time, she begins to doubt who she once thought she was. And that is good, because the first step to quantum awakening is to stop being who you've always been. Playing with infinity, the Mad Hatter leaned toward Alice and whispered, Here, everything is possible. But only if you believe that everything is. She frowned. But I do believe, and yet nothing changes. The world stays the same. The Hatter laughed. Because you're still playing by someone else's rules, and this is not your game. In the quantum world, where possibilities aren't fixed, where every thought creates a potential reality, any choice is a door. And the key is attention, not belief, not logic. Attention. Alice looked around. Clocks, ticking hands, tea that's never finished. Conversations ending before they begin. Everything spun in a rhythm that didn't exist. It wasn't the past. It wasn't the future. It was superposition. Everything and nothing, all at once. Then she asked, Who is the observer? You are, said the Cheshire Cat, appearing in the air, without a body, only a smile. But only if you're looking. If you're not looking, you don't exist. Neither do we. That is the quantum loop, The observer creates the observed, and the moment you look away, the world, the choice, the very question, disappears. The looking glass is not a place. It's the reflection of your attention. There is no time here, only intention. Where once there was fear, now there can be a portal. Where once there was pain, now there can be reprogramming. Where once there was emptiness, now there is potential. But only if you dare not to find the path, but to become it. Off with her head, the queen ordered. When Alice entered the garden, where everything was measured, templated, aligned, she saw the queen, majestic, strict, terrifyingly correct. This was the first thing Alice heard. One more word and it's off with your head. This is the system. This is the world of rigid rules and punishment. A world where you are forbidden to doubt, to ask questions, to be strange, to say, "Why is it like this?" A world where freedom of thought is met with consequences. This world is anti-quantum. The queen is the archetype of fear, of limitation, of the old paradigm. She's the inner dictator who whispers, "Sit still. Don't stand out. Be like the rest. Don't dream. Don't wander. Don't walk your own worlds." But here's the secret. Every time you deny your truth, you cut off your own head. Because you lose connection to your power, and your head is your mind. And the mind is the portal to quantum reality, where the queen's rules no longer apply, where everything is possible. This is why the queen fears the strange ones. She fears the awakened, because they cannot be controlled. They are not a reaction, they are a choice. They do not run from fear, they observe it. And it dissolves. Alice doesn't fight the queen, she reprograms her. She doesn't battle for freedom. She remembers she is already free. But what if you've already awakened and just kept sleeping? Sometimes we think we're awake. We get up, we brush our teeth, we go about our day. But inside we're still half asleep. We follow familiar paths. We say familiar words. We accept our reality as given. Like Alice, waking up in the looking glass, but feeling like somewhere, deep inside, she's still dreaming. And what if you are the dream of someone else? And what if that someone is you, just forgotten? We've been taught to search for answers outside, but the magic of Alice is not in what she found, but in the fact that she dared to look, to ask questions, to challenge the rules, to see not the form, but through it. Every character she meets is a part of us. The Mad Hatter, our creative chaos. The Cheshire Cat, our intuition. The Red Queen, our fears. The White Rabbit, our anxiety. The Mirror, our gateway to the true self. Alice is you. Alice is us. Alice is everyone who is waking up. We think waking from a dream means opening your eyes in the morning. But maybe real awakening is realizing you were always dreaming, and now you choose to see, not with your eyes, but with attention, not with thoughts, but with awareness, not from the past, but from the field of infinite potential. Thank you. Thank you for walking this strange and beautiful path with me, through Alice's world, through the inner worlds, on the edge of reality and imagination. If these images resonated with you, if you too are a seeker of depth, welcome to the space where thoughts become matter and fairy tales become instructions for life. You are the best. You are the creator. You are the observer, and maybe you're no longer asleep. Until we meet again, with love.